Rumor alert. Amari Cooper to the Chiefs. The NFL rumor mill is heating up once again, this time with reports that Amari Cooper could be on his way to the Kansas City Chiefs. If true, this would be yet another blockbuster move in what's shaping up to be a historic offseason for Kansas City. Cooper is a polished route runner with elite hands and veteran experience. Exactly the kind of weapon Patrick Mahomes can turn into a nightmare for opposing defenses. With Cooper potentially joining forces with Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and possibly Tyreek Hill, the Chiefs' offense would be absolutely loaded with firepower. Andy Reid would have more tools than ever to craft one of the most dangerous playbooks in the league. One thing's for sure. The Chiefs aren't playing around this year. They're coming for another ring, and they're stacking talent to make it happen. Chiefs Kingdom, how would you feel about Amari Cooper in red and gold? Drop your take in the comments. Y'all better strap in, because what I'm about to drop is going to shake every Chiefs fan out of their comfort zone. There's a storm on the horizon in the AFC, and the name at the center of it isn't just making noise. He's rewriting the very definition of domination. This isn't something you casually scroll past. Stay locked in until the end. Smash that like, drop a W if you still ride with the Chiefs, L if you've lost hope, and hit that subscribe, because we're only just getting started. There are athletes who appear in highlight reels, and then there are those who are the highlight reel. You feel me? We're talking about the man who took the reins as quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs in 2018 and never looked back. From that very moment, the entire AFC landscape shifted. Forget your average signal callers, forget the guys who simply play football. This man reinvented it. And this isn't just about the stats, it's about swagger, presence, and an unshakable, unmistakable greatness. Every time he steps on the gridiron, it's like watching someone paint a masterpiece in the midst of mayhem. It's art fused with aggression, genius layered with grit, and every defensive player in the league knows exactly who they're staring down when number 15 lines up across the field. And when a guy like Kyle Vanoi speaks, you pay attention. This isn't just some random commentary. This is a warrior who's lived the brutality of the trenches. He's felt the sting of defeat and tasted the sweetness of victory in the rawest, most unforgiving environments the NFL has to offer. So when he names the quarterbacks who've made him earn every cent of his paycheck, that list holds serious weight. Guess who lands at number 2? That's right. Patrick Mahomes. And who is number 1? Tom freaking Brady. When a seasoned linebacker, a man who's faced legends, ranks Mahomes directly behind Brady, what does that tell you? It tells you that we're not just watching talent, we're witnessing evolution in real time. Vanoi didn't just praise Mahomes, he issued a warning. Let me spell it out for the ones in the back. He is the most poised quarterback in the NFL right now. That's not fluff. That's not filler for some sports panel segment. That's a defensive vet saying, I've thrown everything at this guy and nothing rattles him. You can blitz him, cloak your coverages, throw your best schemes. Mahomes sees it all. His pocket presence is elite. His awareness is razor sharp, and his mobility criminally underrated. Don't get it twisted. He doesn't run to run. He runs to extend, to dissect, to punish you for even thinking you had him. And just when you think you've got him cornered, he drops a sidearm dime mid-sprint or slips a sack like he's made of smoke. And let's not overlook his command of the offense. Mahomes isn't freelancing, he's orchestrating. He and that offensive line, mind meld level chemistry. He knows where the pocket will collapse before it even happens. He knows when to slide, when to escape, when to release. That's not something you coach, that's instinct. Forged in fire. That's the byproduct of countless reps, drills, and game speed decisions, all compressed into one man's brain. Vanoi even said he enjoys sacking Mahomes. Think about that. Not because it's easy. One thing, because it's rare. Because when you take Mahomes down, you've earned it. Most of the time, he's out there juking your best rusher and dropping bombs to practice squad receivers who suddenly look like all pros. But here's what really hit. You can't really fool him. Let that sink in. This is the NFL. The League of Deception, a chessboard of blitzes, shifting disguises, pre-snap chaos. And Mahomes, he's not falling for it. He's not just playing the game, he's 5 moves ahead. While the rest are playing checkers, Mahomes is out here playing 4D chess. He dissects defenses like a surgeon. He sees through smoke and mirrors. He reads it all before the snap. That's what separates the greats from the legendary. And let's not act like Vanoi's list was filled with nobodies. After Brady and Mahomes, he listed Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers, and Josh Allen. Certified beasts. You don't make that list for being marketable. You make it by making grown men question their careers. Burrow's got the confidence and surgical precision. Rodgers, the OG sniper with flick of the wrist death passes. Allen, a steamroller with a rocket arm. But Mahomes is something else entirely. He's not part of the elite class. He's in a class of his own. And let's be real. Coming off that Super Bowl loss this past winter, you already know Mahomes has fire roaring in his gut. You already know that loss didn't sit right with him. You know, he's been grinding in the film room, pushing plates in the weight room, locked in like a man possessed. And that's what makes it terrifying. If you thought Mahomes was a problem before, wait until you witness the version of him forged in failure. That's not just hunger. That's vengeance. That's motivation ignited by fury. That's a man who tasted defeat and made a vow, never again. You want to talk legacy? Let's talk reality. This man has already stacked up 2 MVPs, multiple Super Bowl appearances, and record-shattering performances, and still, every time he hits that turf, he plays like he's got something left to prove. That's what makes him dangerous. He's not satisfied. He's not chasing greatness. He's trying to redefine it. He doesn't want to be one of the greats. He wants to be the great. So now tell me, how do you stop that? How do you game plan for a quarterback who knows your moves before you make them? How do you counter someone who adapts faster than your schemes can load? You don't. You survive. You pray not to be the next name added to the list of linebackers who got spun into highlight reels and embarrassed on primetime, because once Mahomes decides he's going to beat you, there's not much left to do but pray he gets bored. And don't overlook what he's built in Kansas City. This ain't a one-man mission. His presence has elevated the entire franchise. The coaches are bolder. The players are sharper. The entire organization is structured around his leadership. And the fans ride for Mahomes like he's blood. And who can blame them? He shows up every game, no excuses, no off days, just results. So when Kyle Vanoi said Mahomes is one of one, you better believe he meant every syllable. That's not hyperbole. That's respect from a warrior who's hunted quarterbacks for over a decade. Vanoi wasn't just tipping his cap, he was acknowledging the throne. And right now, Mahomes is sitting on it boldly because he earned it. Every snap, every impossible throw, every off-bound strike that makes the world ask, how did he do that? This is the new standard. Mahomes is the measuring stick. If you're a QB, you're not being measured against the middle. You're being measured against him. If you're a defensive coach, your entire week is centered around trying to slow him down. If you're a fan, you're either riding with Mahomes or you're terrified of what he's about to do to your team. And we're not even close to finished. Do you think this narrative wraps up with a few media claps and a highlight montage? Not even close. See, when a guy like Vanoi, a linebacker built for chaos, steps up and publicly declares that Mahomes is that dude, it doesn't just fade into a sports show segment. It echoes, it spreads to locker rooms, to training camps, to every defensive coordinator coast to coast who's burning the midnight oil, trying not to get torched. And let's not rewrite history. Mahomes wasn't handed anything. This wasn't some overnight anointing. He waited. He learned. He prepared. He sat behind Alex Smith, took mental reps. And when the moment came, he walked into that huddle and never gave it back. That's not hype. That's grit. That's hunger before the table was even set. And now that he's sitting at the head of it, he's carving the meal his way. And people love to talk about intangibles, leadership, poise, vision. But Mahomes, he goes beyond that. What he has is command, total unapologetic command. He's not just leading, he's dictating. He's not reacting, he's predicting. He's not seeing the field, he's shaping it. That's what Vanoi meant when he praised Mahomes' awareness, composure, and mastery over the offense. This man isn't just playing the game, he's programming it. You remember that no-look pass that blew up a few years ago? That wasn't luck, That wasn't flash, that was precise calculation. That was Mahomes computing angles, speed, timing, and trajectory, all before the defense even realized they'd lost. Pulls it off like he's playing backyard football. But don't let the creativity deceive you. This man studies harder than your favorite analyst. He's not out here improvising. He's mastering the game. Every rep, every frame of film, every off-season moment. He's not preparing, he's obsessing. And the result? Defenses that look like they're stuck in slow motion while he's got the entire field encoded in his mind. But let's bring it back. What does this mean for the rest of the league? When a quarterback like Mahomes sets the standard, the ripple effect is real. Teams panic. They overpay for mediocrity. They reach in the draft. They mimic offensive systems, hoping to bottle the lightning. But here's the hard truth. You can't clone Mahomes. You can't plug in a rookie and say, be like Pat. That's not how greatness works. Mahomes is the product of raw talent, elite intellect, creative instinct, and a relentless fire. You don't manufacture that, you forge it through grind, vision, and obsession. That's why defensive veterans are losing sleep. Let's talk real fear. Not the fear that shows up in press conferences, the fear that creeps in during the third quarter of a close game when Mahomes steps into the huddle with that cold-blooded stare. The here we go again moment when defenders whisper, he's coming. And that's not hype. That's earned reverence, paid in pressure plays and postseason miracles. He doesn't just handle chaos. He thrives in it. He is the storm. And last postseason, the Chiefs were right there. The Super Bowl loss stung. It shook doubters, had folks whispering about the end of a dynasty. But the truth? They're getting even stronger. Mahomes isn't sipping cocktails in Cabo or posting vacation pics. He's back in the lab, breaking down defenses, rebuilding chemistry, and sharpening his arsenal. That's the nightmare scenario for the entire AFC. A Mahomes who's not just elite, but angry. And let's be clear, this isn't a guy who crumbles when his stars go down. Some quarterbacks fold when their WR1 is out. Mahomes evolves. He finds new weapons. He elevates role players into Pro Bowlers. Think it's luck? It's design. He reads leverage, manipulates space, anticipates timing. He simplifies the game for his guys. It's surgical. A glance left, and he moves an entire defense just to launch a laser to the right. Every motion, every fake pause or rollout is precise, calculated deception. Now, some still want to talk about Brady, Roger, respect. They paved the road, but Mahomes is paving new highways. He's combining Brady's IQ, Rodgers' flair, Elway's arm, Wilson's mobility, and doing it all younger, quicker, sharper. And he hasn't even hit his ceiling. That should terrify everyone. Now let's talk about that competitive fire. You think those sideline smiles and post-game dances are just for show? Nah, that's surface level. Underneath is a beast. Ask his teammates, they'll tell you he hates losing. Cards, ping pong, video games. If it's competitive, Mahomes is coming for blood. And that fire, it bleeds into Sunday. He doesn't just want to win. He wants to dismantle you. Grin on his face, bomb down the field. So let me ask, how do you build a defense to stop that? You stack corners. Mahomes finds the mismatch. You crowd the box. He drops it over the top. You play soft zone. He carves you up with surgical precision. The moment you think you've adjusted, he's already flipped the script. He's not playing checkers. He's rewriting the rule book. That's what Kyle Vanoi meant when he said Mahomes does it all. Not just run or throw, but command every inch of the field. He's the full spectrum of quarterback excellence in one unstoppable force. And pressure? It doesn't break him, it fuels him. National spotlight? He thrives. Prime time? He locks in. Playoffs? That's where he becomes mythical. Some quarterbacks wilt under the heat. Mahomes becomes the heat. He is the light. Now that he's tasted another Super Bowl defeat, he's coming for vengeance. Not just a win, domination. He's chasing legacy. He's coming for that throne. And he's not stopping until he owns it, undisputed. So when Vanoi calls him the most poised, most dangerous, hardest to rattle QB in the league, it's not exaggeration. It's truth. Unfiltered, undeniable, unstoppable truth. And Chiefs fans, y'all better appreciate what you're witnessing. Thank you, guys. See you next video.